Welcome, Hoarders. They're going to be playing some more Grand Theft Auto 5. And this testing Tuesday, we're going to be testing the Ocelot Jackal, um, which is based on a Jaguar XFR. Uh, it, I do realize it looks like many other cars. Like the front, it looks quite a bit like the newer, not newer, but like the 2012-13 Ford Fusions. They look kind of similar. But I'm going off of the fact that this is an Ocelot, which in the game, majority of the time, Ocelot is Jaguar. Like it's the equivalent to the real life version. So I went with that, sorry. Before I get into the, what's the word I'm looking for? Like the actual, like, normal performance conversations and stuff that I have, I will say this is one of the best and most practical cars that you could have um, in the game as far as not owning a garage. So I'm saying, like, this is one of the best cars you could get if you can only own one car. Like, you don't own a house in the game yet. Like, one of the best beginner cars, I guess, is the best way to say it. I highly recommend this one for that reason because, like, practical four-door, which is one of, like, the more difficult aspects to get with a vehicle in this game, but it's not that, like, extremely important to have four doors. It's just more helpful for missions and stuff. Most of my cars are two-door. I believe it is rear-wheel drive. Yeah, it's rear-wheel drive. It's just an all-around good car. It's not a great car. I have not tested it yet. Like, I test them later. But it's genuinely, I like this car. It's one that is kind of really understated. I don't see anyone, and as far as my memory goes, I don't remember anyone ever owning this online. I've seen more people with Volkswagen buses than I've seen with this. The Surfer in-game. This is like the equivalent to the Volkswagen bus. But as far as performance goes, top speeds, it's good. I'm doing it right about now. Braking is probably one of the best things on this. It's easy to slow down if you never go fast. Acceleration, not great. It has quite a bit of power, as you saw a little bit earlier when I floored it to see if it was rear-wheel drive or front wheel. I know that this would not have been four-wheel drive. Like a saloon car like this, I could tell immediately was probably going to be a rear-wheel drive. I haven't really driven it or used it much, actually. Don't T-bone me, thank you. I can't really think of much more. I kind of covered everything fairly quick, which is what I'm trying to do. I realize while editing, I sometimes talk way too long about the car, beforehand. But now, let's head on over the test track and see where we can get with this. Okay, let's see where we can get with this. I will put a picture up now. Actually, not yet, probably. I tried to get the right rims on this, but I couldn't get the exact ones. That happens sometimes in this game. It's a little bit annoying, but I couldn't find any that were, like, exactly the same. The side skirt was pretty much exactly the same, and why can I never remember what the wing of a car is called? The spoiler. I don't know why I can't remember the word spoiler. And the spoiler wasn't exactly the same. It was kind of like this one, but a little bit wider in the reference picture that I showed you guys for what the rims look like. It's not a huge deal, obviously. There's things that are gonna differ. And I do like that the wheels I have on it now make the car actually look a little bit wider. I don't know if it changed how wide the car actually was or not. But I thought that was kind of interesting. Gotta try to keep it close to that yellow line. It does have power when you're, like, starting off. Like, if you're from parked to moving, you can get your wheels to spin, but while you're already moving, it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of power behind it. I'm assuming this is probably a 6-cylinder. I wouldn't see them making many cars like this, at least in real life, that are an 8-cylinder. It might be an 8-cylinder. There might be an option for, like, each one. I don't really follow Jaguar all that much. And, like I said, they're loosely based on the real-life cars. They have to change it up because of, like, copying, and you can get sued and all that fun stuff. Tap that one. And before I forget it, after this video, you should go check out my video on the Class A scramjet. I'm only saying that in this video because for some reason, next to no one has watched it, and I don't know why. It's a very interesting vehicle. And that was a lot of work. Okay, we got 2 minutes 29.384 seconds. That sounds like somewhere average time around 40th place. But let's now head on over to the leaderboard and see what time we got. On the test track, the Ocelot Jackal finished in 83rd place at 2 minutes 29.384 seconds. Much, actually double the placement that I thought it was going to get into, because I said at the beginning, or at the end of the race, that it probably placed in about 40th place, and it ended up in 83rd. I guess I kind of forgot about the feel of what time, but oh well. It's not a great time. It is up there with other vehicles that do feel the same, like the Grotti GT500 and the Stinger. It actually doesn't feel that much like the Stinger. The Stinger actually feels faster, even though it's slower. I don't know. It must just be pretty bad at handling. We'll have to see where the Stinger is aligned with the Jackal on the drag race, but like I said, it's not a great time. So let's now head on over to the drag track and see what we got over there. Honestly, I don't see us getting a very good time on this one, because it's not... The acceleration's lacking in this one a bit. Like I said at the beginning, when I was talking about it, it can spin the wheels at the beginning, but once you start going, it takes a little bit to get going. I know that kind of sounded dumb, but I'm sure you all understand what I'm saying. This feels like an eternity now. Yeah, this is slow time. I almost hit that thing. It wouldn't have mattered. I still would have gotten the same time. Okay, we got 27.498 seconds. I'm thinking it's about the same, like, 40th place area that I guess the last one was in. I'm not sure if that's where it's going to place, but let's now take a look at the leaderboard and see what time we got. On the drag track, the Ocelot Jackal finished in 71st place at 27.498 seconds. I do not... Yes, I do. The Grotti Stinger is in 67th place at 27.262 seconds. So, I might have just thought it felt faster because it's faster in a straight line. So, I guess the Jackal's... The biggest problem with it must be straight lines, considering that the Stinger was slower on the regular test track, but faster in the drag race. So both must be better at just going in a straight line. But like I said, the Jackal, it's a good first car for this game. It's not one that you want to have forever. I have friends out there that this would suit pretty good because they don't really ever play the game. They more get on just to mess around and stuff. But it's not a bad car. For the most part, I did this video because I had the car. I did have to fix it up a little bit to get it maxed out. But I had the car, and it's just a killer to attempt to get all of these fast, expensive, like extremely expensive, like every vehicle that I try to get, like what killed me the most in this was attempting to get the Scramjet and the Oppressor Mark II, which are both very expensive vehicles, but I ended up selling the Mark I Oppressor and the Mark II, and then buying the Scramjet. I did that video. I'm not selling the Scramjet, because I love the vehicle far too much, but if you've seen, I'd like to do a video sometime in the future of the vehicles that I have in all my garages, because I feel as if I have more of a specific taste to cars in this game than most other people do. You've probably noticed that during the testing, I don't have many flashy cars or anything like that, but I will be keeping this vehicle. I don't know if it'll be forever, but it'll definitely be for a while, because I've already owned it for at least a year, which shows that it is pretty high up there compared to other vehicles like the, why can I never remember the name of it? Either way, I don't know. There's a Maserati in the game that you can get as well that's around the same category of car, except it's a two-door, but they're similar in so many ways, being that they're the same category. They're both coupes, and they're both fairly quick, which I haven't tested it yet, but I'd like to. Don't forget to post in the comments down below a vehicle you'd like to see me test in the next video. Also, don't forget to check out my last video of Testing Tuesday, which was the Scramjet. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you in the next one. And if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to watch one of my previous, next, and related videos, and don't forget to check out my other social medias in the description down below.